The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf.
Now with the funding that we have, we really get to accelerate, and we're hoping to deliver feasibility study by the end of 2026 and permitting by Q1 of 2027. So we really accelerate our growth path here for investors.
All right, welcome back inside our Proactive newsroom. And joining me now is John Passalacqua. He is the CEO of First Phosphate. And John, it's great to see you again. How are you?
Yeah, great, Steve.
Back with really big news out from the company once again. We've already talked about the support you're getting from investors and institutions, and you're here to announce another one that you've launched a $15 million private placement now. Tell me a bit about the timing and strategy behind this, John.
Yeah, so this private placement is by way of life offering. It's different than the private placements that we've done before. This one is obviously much larger. Under life offering, an issuer has up to, I believe, $25 million per year. We've gone out for 15 million. The idea here is to really fully de-risk the company now that there's availability and investor interest, which seems to be insatiable the last little while. This is on top of 20 million that we've already raised in the last 5 to 6 months. So it'll bring us up to a total of $35 million raised here in the last 6 months. And we just thought it was prudent to fully de-risk the company at this point and get us through to our permits on the Bégin-Lamarche igneous phosphate mine, as well to get us started on the downstream processing facilities.
Yeah, and maybe you can sort of talk about some of the capital that you're going to need moving forward, because as you mentioned, you've got lots of money within the treasury, but you obviously have some things that you need to get done in the next couple of years.
Yeah, so as you know, Steve, right, they talk about this thing called the Valley of Death for mining companies when they move from PEA to feasibility study and permits. That's a long road, right? And for us, that road is about somewhere between the 30 to 40 million dollar range, probably 30 to 35. So with this money now that we've raised and what we have in the treasury, we will fully be able to de-risk the company. So it's really important that we raise this money and that we basically have the funding required to traverse that valley of death. A lot of mining companies, juniors, by the time they get through the permits, they've had to sell a royalty, or they've also had to take on some debt, sometimes not so nice debt. So we're hoping that with this, the company is able to traverse that long path and come out on the other side, with full equity, with its full equity and no further dilution, and no royalty or no toxic debt payments or whatever it might be. So we're quite happy that we've been able to do this. This has been sort of my challenge as CEO here over the last few months, was to determine how do we traverse that valley of death? How do we prepare for that very, very long journey to get to the other side? And it's not so bad now with the funding that we have. We really get to accelerate, and we're hoping to deliver feasibility study by the end of 2026 and permitting by Q1 of 2027. So we really accelerate our growth path here for investors, and we protect all the earlier shareholders as well, who have made the riskier capital allocations when the stock was lower and when the certainty was higher. So great ability for the company to get to this next level here.
Yeah, and just really quickly, John, what's planned for this fall? Is it going to be work at the site, or is there things going on as well that people should be aware of before you get into 2026?
Yeah, so we have to continue with our metallurgical bulk sample for determining what concentration of the mineral will look like. We have to also continue with our definition drilling. That's very important for a feasibility study, and we also have to start on our environmental program as well. And then after that, we have to sort of compilate all of that into a feasibility study and into a report.
Lots of work ahead, John. Congratulations on getting out with this. We'll see how everything goes, and good to see you as well. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Steve. Much appreciated.
All right, John Passalacqua, the CEO of First Phosphate.
The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf. It is for informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice, an offer, or a solicitation to buy or sell any securities. Viewers should conduct their own research and consult a qualified financial advisor before making investment decisions. The views expressed are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of Proactive Group Holdings, trading as Proactive Investors or its affiliates. No responsibility is accepted for any loss arising from reliance on the information presented.